Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Cheap Seats. This is your FPL show. We do a normal show where we discuss all things that are not Manchester United related this week. Thank goodness. So watch out for that. Please do go check out that episode. We talk about Spurs and Arsenal and why he becomes host for the whole show because we're both on either sides of him. But then this show is the FPL show. This is the show where we discuss all things happening in the FPL. We've got 3 game weeks left, 2 double game weeks and 1 normal game week to close out the season at game week 38. But before we start anything else, remember this show is partnered with and sponsored by classicshirts.co.za. Please go check them out. There is a kit of the week and it's a doozy. A doozy of a kit. Reminds us of the 1998 World Cup when South Africa finally made it on the world stage. The home kit for Bafana at that World Cup. 799 Rand. You can get it for a little bit less if you use the discount code CheapSeats50. It's just to let them know that we sent you. There's a lovely picture that Wahid has selected here of Pierre Issa against Thierry Henry. Pierre Issa, French-born, decided to then go score an own goal against his country of choice or his parents' country against for his country of birth. So please do go check them out. Cheap Seats.
What's it with South African dudes born overseas and playing against their country of birth like that? Because we had Pierre Issa and we had that American dude David Sommer also in his debut match. Yes. He played against the USA, wasn't it?
Yes, David Sommer. Yo, guys, you're taking me back so many. But
he was a Leeds player, yes. Wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He was.
He can rot in hell then.
Okay. But instead of rotting in hell, you can buy this shirt. Remind yourself of 1998 because Bafana's not going to be in Qatar. So maybe, lick your wounds after what Ghana did to us with this lovely kit. It's going to be really, really nice. So please do go check Classic Shirts ZA out. Now, guys, every week we do FPL. Now we're entering the point where we need to take out guys who have nothing to play for and add guys who actually have something to play for in the squads. And I think that's where everybody's going to. But before we do that, Dean, how was your FPL week?
Yeah, it was here and thereabouts. Like Salah getting benched was a shocking move for me with Klopp. So I got a whole 2 points from my captain there. And it was one of those weeks where, fine, the decisions went against you. But if you backed someone else as your captain, you were immediately ahead of anyone. And the guys that captain's son, he had an unreal game. So that was 19 points. So if you
19 points. I
ridiculous. So and a lot of guys that dropped some. So they were even worse off. So it was a tough game. I'm back up to, within the top 50,000. But now... The guy, Kent, has overtaken me in our little mini league. So he captained son, unfortunately, for me. It's quite tough for me when I saw he captained son because I'm celebrating the goals, but I'm also not celebrating the goals because I know that he's going ahead of me. But that's fine.
He's 21 points ahead of you now, which is difficult to catch up over a couple of game weeks.
Well, that's why these 2 double game weeks are massive. Absolutely massive.
And we're going to go into that strategy now. My week was okay. I was above average. I also went captaining Salah because you always captain Salah. And Son was sitting there with those 19 points. And I was like, oh, man. But yeah, I'm having an issue with the strike force. I think Ivan Toney's gone cold for Brentford. And every time I bring him into the side, I want to give this guy a good run in my side. He just goes cold. So just needed to do some adjustments there. And then Wahid.
It's absolutely shocking because I had. I'm just looking here. I had De Bruyne as captain. Didn't get any minutes. I had Salah as vice captain. I had a strike force of Dennis Adams and Mateta. Saka got 4. Havertz got 1, and then I got some from my defenders in Cancelo and Matip. But not the best game week for me. Kulusevski got me 8. So yeah, awful game week. It's just bad captaincy picks.
Told you to captain cash.
Well, on that, let's start with Wahid's team of the week. Wahid's gone Eddie Nketiah. as his differential and transfer. And I don't know why, because even as an Arsenal fan, I'm like, no. But just take us through your picks and why you chosen KDB as your captain.
So I actually made a mistake. I didn't transfer out Che Adams. I kept him in and I transferred out Mateta. That's a mistake on my part. But Eddie Nketiah is an interesting one because I've generally gone. So if we look at my team, I've gone for a heavy midfield. My midfield is Havertz, De Bruyne, Saka, Salah, and Kulusevski. So I don't have that much money to play with up front. And I was looking for someone who has something to play for and a double game week. And I thought Edin Nketiah, owned by just 5.2% of people. And look, his last couple, he had a really good game against Chelsea. And I'm not sure that it would be out of the realms of possibility for him to score a couple against Leeds or even against Spurs. So I've gone for Nketiah just as almost like a left field punt. I've done really badly this year, so it's not going to make any huge difference if he doesn't come off. But yeah, that's my pick. I've also gone for bench boost. So I've told you my midfield up front. I've got Nketiah. My defense is James, Matip, White, and Cancelo. In goal, Schmeichel, and then my bench Sanchez, Adams, Coleman, and Dennis. So I've got all but two players, which are Sanchez and Adams on my bench with a double game week, and I played the bench boost.
Okay. I'll go for my team because I know Dean's got the gems, but here are my gems. I'm bringing in Richarlison. Actually, it's two transfers up top. It's Richarlison and Matej Vidra coming in for Ivan Toney, and I don't know who the other striker is, but who cares? And no, honestly, who cares? Because they gave me nothing. And so largely because I'm bringing in guys with something to play for. Burnley need to stay up. They're going to need to score some goals, even though they haven't scored goals all season. So I thought it was a really sneaky pick because I needed somebody at 5.4 or under 5 who plays for a relegation 13 team, and Matej Vitra is the guy. Richarlison has to be in there because if Everton stay up, and I'm punting on Everton to stay up and break that away goals curse they have because they haven't won a game away from home, he's the guy. We saw that over the weekend. I think Richarlison is so important to the side. He's not going to play for Everton next season, but he's going to be so important in them staying up. And so I'm going with that. I'm also captaining him because I think they've got Everton and Norwich, or Leicester and Watford. It's Leicester and Watford in that game. So I think those are two winnable games, especially the other thing with Leicester is that they're playing Europe this weekend. It's either they're going to be on a high because they made the conference final, or they're going to be on a massive low because they missed out on a European final again. Either way, massive win for Everton to play a team on either spectrum of the emotional barrier. So nobody told Real Madrid that on last night because Real Madrid just, after winning the league, they just came back and they smacked that City side in 2 minutes. So that's where I'm going right now. I'm just looking for guys in relegation 13 teams with things to play for. So it's either Spurs, Arsenal, and maybe Liverpool, Man City, and then it's the three at the bottom who are 13. That's my strategy going now. Dean, you've gone. You said Mo Salah for now from a captaincy perspective. You've also gone with Richarlison. You're taking out St. Maximin. Give us a little inkling into your upcoming game week.
So I had St. Maximin for a while when Newcastle had their double in 34, and I quite like him as a player. He always looks like he can do something, but as you said, you kind of have to look at the guys that have stuff to play for a little bit more than the ones that don't. So Richarlison I'm backing, and he's definitely less droppable than DCL at the moment. I think Richarlison plays every single game in that Everton side, and he's mainly where the goals are going to come from, whether it's either Gordon feeding into Richarlison or Demarai Gray feeding on the other side. I think Richarlison is the mainstay there. So
he's going to have some good suitors if they go down.
Yeah. So I reckon it's a big shot. Like, I would never have thought I'd put Richarlison in my team. After Cyrus put him in his team like a couple of weeks ago, I was like, that's a dumb move. But clearly Cyrus knows a lot more. Differential as well, Richarlison, he's only owned by 7%, although I do think that's going to go up quite a little bit more before the end of the week. And then captain, I think we can have a decent discussion on captain because Salah for now, it looks like a decent game week for Liverpool with Spurs and Villa. I mean, he can easily score against both of those and run rampant, but he has looked a little bit off of his top form as of late. And if you look at some of the other options as captain, City, now that they got taken out of the Champions League, a lot of their players are becoming good options for captain. So someone like Phil Foden is definitely someone that I'm also looking at, because if you have to look at City's best or top 11, I think Foden definitely features in either playing off the left wing or moving into that false nine. And for me, Foden, they also have a double game week, and City play Newcastle at home, Wolves away, which are both games that you expect them to win, and they could win those 5-0 probably. And they don't have anything else to play for. So
I have a question, Nadine. So I get that they don't have much to play for. So they only have the Premier League to play for. So
they only have the Premier League.
So they're going to start playing their best team every week because they've got nothing else. But does Pep have a best team? Because whether he plays Foden or Mahrez, it doesn't really make a difference, or Grealish for that matter. All those players are of equal caliber. So there could still be some Pep rotation there. And the only one who doesn't really suffer from Pep rotation in general is KDB. He only suffers when Pep's like resting him for something bigger, like Champions League games. Whereas I think Salah now with the emergence of Jota and Luis Diaz, he might get a few minutes on the bench just because they've got bigger things to play for now.
So from the City perspective, KDB was always undroppable. But if you look at that this season, he's moved to 3 people that are almost undroppable, being KDB, Cancelo, and Foden, play more often than not. So the guys around them move. So Gundogan can often come in for KDB, and then Mahrez, Grealish, Jesus, Sterling, all of those can come in. But I now think after that embarrassing loss against Madrid, they need to come out and give something to shout about, and he's going to try and run rampant over Wolves and Newcastle. So Foden is definitely someone I'm looking at, and they've got the double, and the rest of their fixtures are easy. I mean, they've got Newcastle at home, Wolves away, West Ham away, and then Aston Villa at home. So they can easily just run completely rampant for the next 4, and they want to. They have nothing else to play for. So that's why I'm backing City more than I'm backing someone else. And the rest of the guys, there's FA Cup.
Dean, you're actually wrong. Foden has... Foden is 7th in their list of minutes played. He's got 1,935. So if you look at the undroppable players, it's Cancelo and Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva is more of an automatic pick than Foden.
Yeah, but if you're looking for someone who's actually going to do something on the pitch, FPL.
Bernardo Silva is the best player.
Yes, but Bernardo Silva doesn't score goals. He doesn't give assists. He's the assist to the assist. So that's what I'm saying from an FPL side. You're looking purely that. If you're looking at
so hold on. So the assist to the assist, it matters. Okay, so now we're going to have a Paul Scholes discussion about
okay. That doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying.
Guys, okay, cool. Let's hold it off a little bit. Okay, so you've given me Foden, you've given me that. You've given me. Is there an answer for Salah in this game week? I know they play Liverpool and Arsenal. Liverpool and they play Spurs and I think it's Norwich, Villa. Is there a shout for Mo Salah?
So I'll put it on Salah. Yeah, I'll put it on Salah at the moment, but I'm very close to changing it because one of the other ones that we could also chat about is Chelsea, because they have Wolves at home, Leeds away. And then you look at those guys and you're like, well, Tuchel has to try and pull something out of that. That's a team that's looking.
I thought about that, but who at Chelsea could I give them to? Kai Havertz is hot and cold.
So that's
Mason Mount's having a regression season.
Reece James can, if he plays in the right wing back and they actually rock up, he can go and score 18 points a game. So that's why I'm saying this week is so open because there's so many different captaincy options.
The other thing is that,
the
other thing is I have my chip left, so I'm playing my bench boost this week as well. So it's about I try to put in as many people of double game weeks as possible. So avoid Southampton players.
You need to have your starting 11 must be all
United players because they shit.
But the other thing with Chelsea is they have Wolves at home, but then they have Leeds away, and just after that Leeds game is the FA Cup final. So you might think Chelsea will rest some of their players against Leeds and for the FA Cup final because they more want to win the FA Cup final than they want.
Can they afford to, Dean?
No,
they're not that far ahead in the league anymore. They're 3 points ahead.
They're not that far ahead, but that's what I'm saying. There's so many that these decisions are only going to be made too far from the deadline that you won't be able to adjust. So that's why it's a punty week. You have to put the armband on someone and just hope and pray it works out. Because you could also put it on Son, and you can he can score against Liverpool, and he could probably run rampant at Arsenal.
I thought about that. I actually thought about that, putting it on Son. And if I get 2 goals, one against Liverpool, one against Arsenal, it's a good week for a captain.
They're very decent. Kulusevski against Tavares.
It will hurt me. It will break me.
Paul's going with like the voodoo tactic. He's like, if I captain Son, maybe he won't do well because I've captained him, and then we make up 4.
But then even that, sorry, I know we keep saying, but Captain Richarlison, Leicester away, they're going to be rotating because of Europe, and then Watford away, they already gone down. So there's so many options, and that's why this week, it feels like I say it every week, but like it's this can cause massive swings. Oaks are going to go way up and way down if you get your captain choice wrong.
And that's where we're going to leave it now. It's going to be a minefield. We've given you all the options for this week, so please do go and make your picks. Remember the deadline is Saturday at 12, so please do make sure you put your picks in. That's largely speaking to myself. Outside of that, thanks Wahid, thanks Dean. Have a great week. Enjoy the FPL, and hopefully next week when we come back, it'll be a lot better for you, Dean, myself, and you as well, Wahid. So hopefully all your gambles pay off except for one, Dean, and that'll be Arsenal. But outside of that, guys, thank you very much. Goodbye and Lesale.